Hi there, everybody. Welcome to another album review. My name is Christian Eschbach.
All right, so it has been a while since we have talked about Dio solo. Talked about a lot of Dio Sabbath, but this is the first time solo in a while. And we are talking about Dio the Last in Line this time. Okay. So here's what I've come to discover. First off, Dio was one of the most amazing vocalists ever. We're talking about Ronnie James Dio here, Much love to Dio, man that gave us the evil eye. Which is gonna come back up around here. Okay. I I have the utmost respect for Dio. I have love for some Dio songs, and then there's other ones where it's just kind of like. And this album's a good example of that. First off, almost no synth work on this album, which is fantastic. I love that. Or, to the point where you really can't hear it, which is fantastic. This is basically like a guitar bass drum album. The album opens up with We Rock, which is just great way to open up the album. Great way to open up a live set, man. Just a lot of energy in there, just pushing it out right off the bat. Fantastic killer start. Is it a you have to have it kind of song? No. But the energy on this is a song that is designed to open up a show or potentially close a show, even. It's that type of energy to it. It's meant to be a good album cut. It's a good track that you can put it on here. And in the old days of, radio stations playing any track off an album, going to the first track off of an album would have been great on here. Then we get into the album's title track, which would also be, I think, arguably the biggest song on this album, the big hit on this album, which would be The Last in Line. Fantastic song. It's got this great little intro to it, builds up, goes in a huge little, that big, huge blast when it kicks in with the rumbling and whatnot. Really dig this one. Weirdly, though, because of the Dio tribute album that I've already covered, I'm actually more accustomed at this point to the Jack Black / Tenacious D rendition of this song. And part of me actually likes their rendition just a tad bit better. And it's not the vocals, it's the music itself. This album is a victim of the time in which it came out in. I want to blame the production, but the production's not really a huge issue. I mean, it was produced by Dio himself, which means the vocals get pushed more to the forefront. The music's not as important, even though the music on most of the songs on here is actually really good. But I have come to the conclusion that with a lot of artists, they need a producer. They really do. And with a producer, I think this album could have been a little bit more, but I really do believe that it is a victim of the time period in which it was recorded and released. If this had been recorded and released in the 2000s, totally different story. If this was a digital remaster, I'd probably be even saying it's a totally different story. But this is going to be an AAD release, so analog recorded, analog mixed, digitally produced. So, meaning it was put on compact disc. They didn't remaster it, they didn't do anything with it. They just took it off the original tapes and kind of plunked it onto a digital copy, and that's it. Not this is the type of reason why people complain about CDs having a cold sound to them or not having the same warmth that a vinyl has. It's because of the sound quality on albums like this. And that makes Last in Line kind of a victim of this album. Then we get into Breathless. I really actually dig Breathless. I thought it was a good tune. Never had heard it prior to this. Thought it really worked. Moved the album along. It's an album cut. It's not a big kick out kind of song, but it's good as an album cut. Then we get to I Speed at Night, and when we get to I Speed at Night, right away I realized that and this gets hammered home a little more as the album goes on. Dio basically kind of has like three speeds. And when I say three speeds, I'm talking like legitimately like three tempos. You know, he's going in around the 140 zone. We're talking BPM, beats per minute. So we're talking like the 140-ish zone, and then you've got probably when he slows it down just a smidge, you get into the, I want to say around 116-ish, and then you've got like the 90 region. Sort of, kind of like, I mean, obviously, you know, it's going to fluctuate a little bit, but you know, I Speed at Night is basically just kind of a fast song, you know, and there's a couple of those on here where they're just kind of fast songs, and there's a couple on here where they're just kind of slower songs. And you know, if you look at Dio's repertoire, they all really do fall within the same BPMs, you know, like, and it's usually straight 4, straight 8, you know, not too much outside of that. I do really dig I Speed at Night though on the album. Outside of the album, I'm not sure how well it would really do. I don't know if it's not a type of song I'd throw on the radio as an deep cut or anything like that. One City in the Night. This one's alright, I guess. Evil Eyes. I'm really not a fan of Evil Eyes. I'm not. I thought it was kind of kind of tune. I know that it is one that used to get a lot of concert play and stuff like that. It's just one that doesn't do much for me. Mystery I thought was intriguing. I don't remember where I've heard Mystery before, but I do know Mystery. I know I've heard it before, and I do actually thoroughly enjoy Mystery. I think one of the reasons I enjoy Mystery is different from everything else on this album. This one's kind of got, when I was talking about that tempo range earlier, the reason why I threw a middle one in there, normally I'd say it's kind of like, you know, 140 or like 90. That 116 I was talking about, that's kind of where Mystery kind of fits into there. Where it's not overly fast, it's not overly slow, it's got a nice middle ground tempo. Even musically, it's different than a lot of the rest of this album, which is really kind of cool. Eat Your Heart Out, not a fan of this one. This one just really feels like it's a bunch of riffs slapped together with some lyrics thrown over top of it. Most of the riffs don't honestly feel like they belong together. It's got a great verse, set of riffing going on in the verse with some nice flourishes at the end of each kind of little section, stuff like that. Sounds really good. I enjoy it. Then you get into the chorus. The chorus has got this great kind of straight ahead, go at it. I don't want to say chugging almost, but you know, just kind of like a straight, almost a 4 on the floor straight kind of thing going on. And it's really kind of cool. And then you get into like the instrumental solo-y section, and it sounds like it's another completely different song on its own. I found the riffs just kind of slapped together, and the other thing that accentuates the riffs feeling slapped together is when you go from like the verse to the chorus, there's a legitimate stop in the music while, you know, Dio hits the line, hit your heart out, basically. And then you go into the next riff. So it's not like it's a jarring hit the wall kind of change, but there's not like a proper bridge or anything like that. Like they didn't know how to work them together, so they just kind of threw these little pauses in there to allow it to happen. And I've done that with songs. Sometimes that just happens. But that's literally when I've done that with songs in my own bands and whatnot. That's what it is. I've got a really great riff here. I've got a really great riff here. I don't have a way to bridge them, so we vocally bridge it, and then you go from there. And, you know, that's kind of how you get a song that you eat your heart out. And that's what it sounds like to me. And then you got the song Egypt, which I know best as a cover as well. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, I prefer the cover as well. Not overly huge on it, and I don't mind it overly that much, but the cover I've heard, I believe it's Doro that does the cover of it off of the Dio tribute album I've covered. I could be wrong on that one. I have to go back and double check, but I'm not going to. It's the music on this. This is a great blueprint for a song, but it's not a great song itself as it is on here. But once again, that is the production. I'd love to hear a great remaster of this. The whole way around, that's kind of where I'm going to cut this here. I gotta get my hands on a remaster, and when I get my hands on a remaster, I will probably redo this review based on getting the remaster, kind of like what I did with Alice Cooper with the Killer album. And the reason why is I really think this could sound a lot better than it does, and I think on a remaster it would sound a lot better, and I'm a little disappointed with how it is, unfortunately. But anyways, folks, those are my thoughts, my views, my opinions. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, as the comment section's for. On your way down there, you'll see a couple links. Check those out. Also, there is a like button, a subscribe button, and a bell for notifications. If you can hit those for me, I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, folks, peace, love, take care.